Welcome back, everybody, to another shocking episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. That's right, this story absolutely blew my mind, but you know what? This type of stuff actually happens more than you might think. Maybe not to this extreme, but when it comes down to retaliation behind certain situations, can lead to devastation, including this once married TikTok couple whose relationship ends in absolute tragedy. And I'm going to break it all down here in 1 second. But first, as always, if you're new to the channel and enjoy all things lockup and crime related, then this is absolutely where you need to be. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. And check out my beautifully assorted playlist with many more videos for you to start watching today. Alright, so before we get going, let me clarify something before people start taking it to a whole nother level. I said in the intro this is a case of retaliation, but look, that's just what I'm left to assume. Let me break down the story and then you can assume whatever the hell you want. To their thousands of digital followers, Sara Gilson and Jeremiah Sean Duffy embodied a picture-perfect Midwestern lifestyle in a suburban enclave of Owasso, Oklahoma. Hopefully I pronounced that right. But Sara, a vibrant 43-year-old hairstylist and lifestyle influencer, curated a polished online world centered on beauty, family, and apparel.
Okay, if you've been deciding between chopping your hair off or not, this is your sign to just freaking do it. I have been loving this, and I style it so different every day. I'm obsessed with my shorter hair, and if you watch my last video, I kept the purple aloe jacket. I'm just going to return everything except this and the shoes, because I feel guilty because I've been shopping at Aloe way too much lately, and it's not cheap. So anyways, if there's anyone that wants to contribute to my shopping fund, let me know, and I will send you my Cash App. Otherwise, I'm going to go return those other things today. But chop your hair off, ladies. Life is too short not to.
Her husband, 48-year-old Sean Duffy, operated alongside her digital space under TikTok handle at DuffDaddy1. Yeah, that name already suspect to me. But offline, Sean was a figure in the local sports community, serving as a prominent youth basketball coach for traveling competitive girls' leagues. For years, her interconnected accounts projected a seamless life, blended with success and family devotion. But beneath the high engagement filters lay a dark, volatile history. Behind closed doors, their marriage was fractured. Court records reveal as early as 2021, Sara had filed multiple domestic protective orders against Sean, hinting to an ongoing cycle of unseen terror that she would ultimately drop before ever reaching a courtroom. And that type of stuff happens all the time as well. Couples get into it, charges are pressed, later on they decide not to press no charges or not show up to court, and everything just, kinda slowly goes back to normal. That's why these domestic situations are so, up in the air and iffy, especially when these officers are, reporting to the scene. Even they know how volatile it could be when showing up there. Passion, love, alcohol, drugs, all that stuff's into play. Pride, whatever, you never know what could happen. But it says the public image of the family began to unravel in June 2026. On June 9th, a report was filed to the Owasso Police Department involving allegations of inappropriate conduct. Following these reports, the investigation was referred to federal authorities due to jurisdictional factors under the Federal Major Crimes Act. On June 10th, Sara Gilson filed an emergency protective order against Sean Duffy, which required him to leave their shared residence and maintain a distance of at least 100 yards. In her legal filing, Gilson expressed significant concern regarding Duffy's state of mind and indicated that he was in possession of a firearm. Now, what led to all the discrepancies towards the end of the relationship? This is the situation. June 9, 2026, a juvenile player and her parent went to police headquarters to report an assault. And according to this report, Duffy was using a rented elementary school gym for practice with his traveling competitive basketball team. It says, while alone with the 15-year-old player, Duffy was caught kissing and fondling the teenager. Another coach on the team unexpectedly walked into the room, thank God for that, and immediately intervened to halt the abuse and reported the incident directly to the victim's mother. Just imagine Duffy's face when he walked in and seen that he got caught up in the mix. He knew it was game over. Heart probably pumping, Kool-Aid dropped to the floor. Probably puked on himself when he left that damn gym. Now it says here on July 11th, 2026. Now this is when the story really broke wide open. And where I'm left to assume that he came back and did what he did off of, vengeance, retaliation, whatever you want to call it. Pride being hurt, his life being ruined. But on July 11th, 2026, the situation gained massive public attention when Gilson posted a video on TikTok participating in a popular documentary style trend. And this trend is where, people get up there in front of like a fake, news camera crew with lights and stuff, and put a caption above them saying someone's about to be exposed. There's be a new documentary on, my husband, my boyfriend, my girlfriend, my wife. A lot of times it's fake, just drama to stir up the nest. But sometimes, like this one, it's authentic. And just like most authentic, juicy videos, man, they get pumped real quick. It says in the video, she sat before a camera with a caption stating she was preparing for a future documentary about her soon-to-be ex-husband, followed by public accusations regarding his conduct. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. I'll let y'all read it, but she was about to expose him for being a pedophile. And as of right now, that video's gotten 15.3 million views. That's like half the galaxy knowing you're a pedophile now. And like I said, that kind of exposure, man, some people, they just can't live with it. It says, according to the Wasu Police Department, the initial 911 dispatch audio captured Gilson screaming and crying frantically, followed immediately by what sounded like a gunshot. The call then went dead. Moments later, a boy living at the residence fled to a neighbor's house and made a second 911 call. He reported to dispatchers that his stepfather had just shot his mother. When the officers breached the home at approximately 11:16 p.m., they discovered both Gilson and Duffy dead. Both had sustained catastrophic fatal gunshot wounds to the head. Investigators confirmed Duffy shot Gilson before turning the gun on himself. And my condolences go out to anybody affected by this one, man. Very tragic situation. And just a piece of advice for anybody out there who might be going through something very similar. Try to keep things, a little low-key when it comes down to like social media or something, because you never know, what another person might do when they see a video on them being a pedophile going viral, right? To many people, that, like I said, that's game over. They can't survive in prison, jail, on the streets, nowhere, man. Everybody knows exactly what they did. The Scarlet Letter. Great book, by the way. I read it in like 7th grade. Still stuck with me. But there is one clip that I'd like to show y'all that was pretty eerie to me. This is one of her posts that got quite a bit of views. It says, if I die before my husband, nobody better say she want you to move on. Because when the F did I say that? First comment under this video is, this didn't age well. And no, it definitely didn't. She's pretty much saying that she wants her husband all to herself even after she's dead. Very eerie, knowing that the man she's speaking about is the one that ends up taking her life later on down the road. Crazy turn of events. Social media, man, it really shows you things from a different light. One thing's for sure, two things for certain. Nothing is as it seems, at least 90% of it. But that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. And, if you're to learn anything from it, just my 2 cents. If you're doing anything illegal or, despicable in the dark, chances are later on down the road, it's going to come to the light. And once again, quote an honorable Judge Boy, if it could even barely closely possibly what you're about to do send you to prison, then don't do it. But stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. I got plenty more content coming your way, including some courtroom sentencings that's going to blow our khakis and turtlenecks off. So be on the lookout for that. And the only way to do that, of course, is by hitting that subscribe notification bell, setting it to all. Until the next time, though, as always, y'all be easy, be safe, and stay free.